Yo, rise and shine. All right, so check it out. Look what I have on the screen right here. So what I typed in on the Google COVID lockdown, right? Because this was the time that the whole world sort of kind of freaked out, man. You know, there was all sorts of things that were happening, like things were being closed, right? You see this closed, right? You know, you had signs right here. It said like, stay 6 feet apart, right? Stay home, right? You know, empty buildings, empty seats, and all sorts of stuff like that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to build something right here because, you know, I just want to show you how we, the people, are just having fun right now because we learned a lot during this COVID lockdown, right? Ready? Here we go. Let's check it out. Right. So right here we have God's people up, right? You know, because I'm always going to show you what's up with God's people so you can see, right? You know, because we, the people, are God's people, right? Every man, every woman, we are all God's people, okay? Scary Simple Service, okay? And then I want to show you this right here. Remember, Proverbs 1:7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, right? So fear means to try. Fear means risk, right? So you always have to try God. You always have to risk God. That's it. That's it. You don't have any fear of anything else. At least in my realm, that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because that's how you know what side you're on, all right? Okay, let's keep it going, right? So Genesis, you always want to know how things were created? Come to Genesis 1:1. It says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, right? Boom, you're done, right? Everything else, it's all cool to look at, right? But if you know that God created heaven, God created earth, right? That's it. You know, when you look up, you're like, God created that. When you look down, you're like, God created that. Scary simple, right? All right, let's keep it going. Protect, right? This is one of my favorite words, right? Because it's all about cover, right? You know, you got to cover things, right? When you cover things, you protect things, right? You got to shield it from danger, right? You have to shield everything that God has created for man, woman, child, the people. You have to shield it from danger, right? And now we do that with our eyes, and we do that with our associations because we follow those who wish to protect too. All right? Scary Simple Service. All right, let's go. Let's get it down right now. Okay, so we always want to start off with the order of God's realm. And remember this flow, right? Because once you get this flow down, you're going to be good, okay? Order. God created the world. Check. God created man, aka the people. Check. People created states. Check. People created constitutions. Check. People created governments. Check. Question. When did government become boss of the people? All right, so we're going to show you what's up on this show right here. All right, so check it out. So we have one of the maxims and one of the great laws that we always love to start off with, right, is 11A. You know, servant, look at that. Authority, power, servant, jurisdiction. 11A. A delegated power cannot again be delegated. Remember that, okay? Right? Remember that. All public servants, remember that. A deputy cannot have or appoint a deputy. Remember that too, public servants. All right, so all of our public servants are all of our elected officials. All of the people's public servants are also those who are in corporate bodies who serve the consumer or who serve the customer. Those are also public servants, right? Because if you fall under the jurisdiction of the Constitution, then that means that you're one of our servants, all right? It's stupid simple once you see the words. All right, check this out. Guardian, remember this one. Guardian, inheritance. Inheritance, minor legal capacity, but we like 53C, right? If a guardian do fraud to his ward, he shall be removed from his guardianship. Okay, so guardians are also the people that we put in the positions of executive, of legislature, and of judicial, right? They are supposed to guard the words within the Constitution, right? You know, so they are supposed to guard the rights of the people that are written within those trust indentures, within those contracts. All right, let's keep it going. All right, so we're going to take a journey through Plato's cave right now, man. You know, we're going to take the people and we're going to show the people some words, right? Because, you know, we found a story because the group showed us a story and it's just a fun story and we like it. But before we get there, we're going to build up on some words so then we can have a little bit of a foundation, all right? And then we always do that with the grand jury, right? We like to hang out with the grand jury because that's just what we do, man. Look at this. Check this dude out right there. He did it. That man did it right there. He messed up my business, man. Get him, judge. Okay, man, we're going to go ahead and get this one right now for you, bro. All right, let's go. Okay, so remember, this is the function of the grand jury. It's very simple. You investigate, that means to look at the operations of the various officers, departments, and agencies of local government, right? That's what we're doing right now. So we're investigating by showing you the words right now, right? And then it's just so much fun because once you have the words, you're the boss, you're the master, all right? And then what we look for is we always look for maladministration, right? Because we look for faulty or improper management of affairs, right? So if our small masters, right, because that's what administer means, minister is a small master. If they are performing badly and doing things not correctly, then we say, bad small master, go get in the corner. You're on timeout, right, because you're being bad, right? You're doing bad and you're doing wrong, so you are going to go in timeout now, right? I'm playing with this because it's serious, right? Because you can cause a lot of harm to people through maladministration. And I'm going to show you one of those ways that someone did do that, right? Treason. I'm going to also show you an example of treason, right? Because treason means to deliver the trust, or to betray the trust, or to hand over the trust, right? So we, the people, wrote constitutions, which are trust indentures. They're all contracts, right? And then we've given people within those contracts certain duties and responsibilities, and they have obligations, right? And if they don't meet those obligations, then that means that they betrayed the trust, okay? That means they hand over the trust, right? That means they deliver the trust to something else, and now we're just going to find out why, okay? Let's go. Right, and we always look for war. We try to see how people confuse things and how people mix things up. And then they like to do that with the words, man. They like to do that by, throwing out scenarios, and then once you're in the scenario, there's just a bunch of confusion, and you don't know what's up, you don't know what's down, you don't know who to listen to. You're just like wandering around and stuff like that, right? So that's the war that we look for, right? The war, right? And we call this right here, we call this lockdown a type of war, right? There was so much confusion going on because nobody knew what was going on, right? People were just following rules and following orders and instructions coming from their public servants, man. That was a crazy time, but it was fun, right? Because we learned a lot. All right, let's keep it going. Right, so preamble. Before we walk, we always want to show you who's the boss, right? We always want to show through our constitutions who's the boss, and every preamble shows you who's the boss. Ready? Here we go. We the people of the state of California, grateful to Almighty God. What's up, God? Thanks again for the shine, for our freedom, in order to secure and perpetuate its blessings, do establish this Constitution. So all the words in this Constitution, we the people wrote down, okay? Let's go. Right, check out Article, we're going to go with Article 1, California Constitution. And in this one, we're going to show you Section 1, right? We always want to show you Section 1 because it's very important. All people are by nature free, right? And every time you see by nature, that means by God, right? So all people by God are free and independent and have inalienable rights, right? Remember that. Among these are enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining safety, happiness, and privacy, right? So what that means is that no public servant can tell the people they can't do things, right? Because the public servants are the servants of we the people, because we the people are by nature free, all right? And if they always forget, because they tend to forget, every 100 years, it seems like, you always have to come back, and you always have to come back to the Declaration of Rights, and you have to show them right here, hey, public servant, look at this right here. It says all people are by nature free, right? That means by God, bro. So who's your master? Who do you serve? Do you serve the people, or do you serve someone else? Remember that. You always have to put your public servants in check, because sometimes they just go off on the deep end because they listen to their lawyers, right? And sometimes their lawyers tell them the wrong words, man. All right, let's keep it going. Right, so here goes Article 2, California Constitution, and we're going to look at Section 1. And another thing we want you to see, all political power, remember, all political power is inherent in the people. That means the people are the power, right? Every man and every woman, you are one of the people. That means you're the power, right? So so when you see people go and petition their, and put up a little note and say, hey, Mr. Government Servant. You know, they never talk like that. It's like, hey, Mr. Government, can you do this for us? Right? And then they act very weak, right? Because they don't know they are the power, right? We got to correct that, right? Because we got to show you that California is a republic of people, right? And the people are the boss, right? It's not a democracy, right? It's not a district, right? It is, the power is in the people, right? Remember that. Government is instituted for their protection, for the people's protection, security, and benefit, and they, meaning the people, have the right to alter or reform it, meaning the government, when the public good may require it, right? You know, so remember that. Like, so if this right here harmed you, right, and you weren't happy, right, then you can go ahead and hang out with some other people, right, and then you can correct that, right? You can correct that really, really quick, right? And then we just show you how now, because once you hang out with us, we're going to show you how through the power of the word and through the power of association is that you can check all your governments, man. Really simple, okay? So check this out. We're over here in 1849 U.S. or California Constitution, right? And then we're over here in Article 5. This is the executive department, right? And then we scroll down and we highlighted Section 7, right? And it says, this is look at who it is, right? It's talking about the governor. The supreme executive power of this state shall be vested in a chief magistrate who shall be styled the governor of the state of California, right? So the chief magistrate is the governor of California, right? And that's what we do, right? So then we have Section 7. It says, he shall see that the laws are faithfully executed, right? So the governor has to make sure that the laws which we, the people, have created within our Constitution, we are all free, are faithfully executed. So if you don't do that, we call that treason, right? We call that war, right? That is a betrayal of the trust, right? So if you do not faithfully execute, carry out, follow through with the laws that the people have written down for you to follow, then that means that you are doing war against the people. That means you are committing treason against the people because you've betrayed the trust, right? You've confused the people, right? And you can't do that, man, okay? So let's keep it going, right? So sometimes people don't understand, like, oh my God, how is he talking all this poo-poo? You know, who does he think he is, right? I'm up here. You know, I'm up here with one of the people, which puts me up here, right? So the people are up top, right? We're always up top, right? And then the people wrote the constitutions for all of these entities right here to operate in, right? So if you can understand that there's a hierarchy, meaning God's up here, God is up here controlling everything. Then God created man, woman, the people, right? And then the people created constitutions. And then within the constitutions, the people created entities for them to operate, you know, for other people to operate in, right? We have legislatures who make laws. We have executives who carry out the laws. And we have the judges or the judicial branch who interprets the laws, man. That's what we did, right? So all the people that we know, they're all concerned about these people way down here on the bottom of the food chain, right? You know, it's like you shouldn't have any worry about these people because they're your servants, man. And now we're just going to show you how to operate your servants. It's really simple, right? You know, you just have to know how to use the word, man. And once you know how to use the word, you're going to be free. All right, let's keep it going. Right, remember, you need to know what's up with the law because the law is the word that you put and you lay down, right? See, law, lay, to lie down, lay, right? You know, so everybody's always thinking about, look at this, layer, measure, stroke, you know. Laws are words. Laws are words, and one word, one meaning means the law, right? And then you have to know what it is, and then two people have to be able to agree that that's what it means, right? You see this? A right, right? Ius, a right, you know, juris, law. It's all about the word, man, right? So once you put the word down, you're putting down the law, okay? Scary simple service, right? Know, right? You have to know things, right? This is where knowledge comes from, right? You know, because I was going to start off with news, but then I was like, news just means new, and then new just means like you don't even know what it's about, right? But then to know is all about what you see, right? You know, see, perceive a thing, right? So when you perceive something, you're looking at it, right? Excuse me, and you could be looking at it with your mind's eye, but then you know what's up, all right? You just have to know, and that's why knowledge, you know, the root of knowledge is know, right? And then this is just a root word here. Check this out. When you click on it, right, look at all these things that, you know, no, right? Right, acknowledge, acquaint, agnostic, right? Let's see, connoisseur, could, right? What other words are for him? Yeah, look at that. Even ignorant, meaning not knowing, right? You know, so if you don't know something, right, that means you're ignorant, right? So we're going to show you an example of someone who lacked knowledge, right, because they were listening to their lawyer, probably, right, or their bar member, right, and whoever they were listening to was ignorant because they did not know that we the people are the power, right? So now we're going to show you what happened, right? So here goes, this is in the Gateway Pundit, right? You know, and then this article came out August 2022, right? And then the header said 3 California courts in a week rule in favor of we the people against Newsom's COVID lockdowns. Okay, you know, so this man right here is what we call the governor of the state of California. And what this man did is that he wrote some words down, and he said that all people's businesses need to stop, right? You know, and then he also told the people that, hey, if you don't work in this business, then you can't work and you're not essential, right? You know, and then he was just making some ridiculous rules up, right? And then we were all saying, hey man, we don't think you can do that, bro. You know, it's like, you don't have that power, right? But then this man was just lording over the people. You know, he was just acting like what we would call a tyrant, right? You know, it was like, dude, you're committing treason. We're like, dude, you know, you're bringing war against the people. What are you doing? Stop it. Like, we were like, stop this, correct yourself, right? And then, you know, people in the pen and paper war were sending notice and sending affidavit to this man, right? And we were just letting them know what his role was and how he had no authority and he had no power to do it, right? Because this is what you call delegated power. This is what you call a deputy. He is a deputy of we the people. And then this man tried to lock down all the people's businesses. And yeah, it took some time, but then they had to go to court, right? You know, so they had to go to court, and then the courts are saying, you know, look at that. So here goes one constitutional attorney, right, you know, who was saying, you know, the governor may have overstepped its authority when they followed Gavin Newsom's shutdown. Yeah, you did, man. You know, we were telling you that. The people were telling you that you don't have that authority. You don't have that power. And now here goes some examples of this happening in the courts, right? So the courts now are ruling in the favor of we the people because that's what the courts have to do. Because if you see right here, right, you know, the judicial branch interprets the laws, right? So all the laws are already written, and they're written within the Constitution, and all you have to do is go read the Constitution, and then you see what you can and what you can't do, and then the judges are going to look at it, and they're going to hold it side by side, and they're like, yeah, I don't think you can do this, bro. And then somebody in here was like, I thought we could, right? And then you're like, nah, man, you can't do that, bro. You can't do what you think you do, right? And then they didn't say anything, right? Because they were too scary. They were like, oh, no, we're just going to follow the executive because he's the big bad man, right? And then we were just like, oh, man, the people were over here saying, hey, guys, we wrote the Constitution. You can't do that, right? And then none of these people were listening because you had people under here who just feared. They feared the government, right? They feared everything that they were saying. So you had corporations who were shutting down the people's businesses, right? You had corporations that were telling people that you can't work, right? You're not essential. And then the people were like, what are you talking about? I am essential. How can you say that? We created the Constitution so we can have fun in these markets, man. You know, you can't do what you can do. And then the corporations were just acting all out of order, all out of their authority, right? And we were just like, oh my God, just wait and see and watch what happens, right? And this right here, right, you know, this right here, 3 California courts in a week rule in favor of we the people. This is the wait and see, right? This is now, you're finding out right now that the people are boss, right? You know, because the courts are saying, yeah, the people are the boss, right? You know, so look, look, let me show you. Where does it say? Okay, here we go, right here. So this highlight right here, you know. So first, a court ruled that the courts can't sanction a church for refusing to shut down since it was later determined that Newsom overstepped his constitutional authority, right? So this man was shutting down churches, right? And then we were like, yo, the church is free, right? And then everybody was like, oh no, the church has to shut down. And then all these churches, at least there was one church that was trying to be boss and saying, no, we won't shut down, right? And they kept it open, and they said, you don't have to do any of this stuff. You can just walk in here because we are the church, man. This is the house of God, right? And boom, this man's church or woman's church or whatever, this people's church, they still fought it out, and then now they're going to win. They're going to win big, right? And then check out the second one. Second, these are the 3 court rulings, right? The second court ruled that since Newsom picked which businesses were allowed to remain open in order to flatten the curve, the government may be liable for the damages those businesses suffered as a result of the government's order, right? So every business that was told that you're not essential, you can go clap back at that governor, right? And then you can go ahead and seek your damages because he caused harm to your business, because that is property, that is private, that is supposed to be free, right? He was supposed to make sure that you're happy, right? And if you're not happy because your business shut down, you can go after this man now, man. Scary simple service, okay? There's a lot of entities that are going to have to pay, right? And then you're just going to see how it happens now, right? Check out the third one. Third, a court ruled that businesses are allowed to sue the government, right, for targeting them because they were vocal in opposing Newsom's shutdown orders, right? So here's an example of this one, right? Because I was vocal about me and my body being private property, and that I wasn't a government employee, and that you couldn't do anything to my body. And I was like, no jab. You cannot put that substance in my body. I don't want it, right? But then the hospital was like, but it's an order from the governor, and you have to listen to him and take it up with him. And then I was like, nah, man, here, I'm going to show you the laws, right? And I tried to show the corporation, the corporate hospitals, the law, right? And then they didn't want to listen, right? So then I was one of those ones that was cut loose, right? So they said, nah, you get out of here because you're not following the rules of the governor. And I was like, that's not my master, right? God's my master, right? I said, so I'll see you guys in the future, right? And here comes the future. The future's getting ready to come up, right? Because the court ruled that businesses are allowed to sue the government, right? So that doesn't just include the government, right? So any corporation that has fired or harmed the people that work within them, they will also be allowed to be sued, right? Because you guys followed another entity's orders and instructions, and now the people are just going to show you what's up, man, because you can't do that, all right. So here, check this out. I'm done with this bit right here because the courts are ruling in the favor of we the people. Now you know what's up, right? Now you know that the people are the bosses. You may have forgotten because of this right here, because most of the people work under here, right? Most of the people think that they're way beneath the government, right? They're like, but we giving the government power. I was like, no, they are delegated power, right? They are not the power. We the people are the power, right? Because we wrote the constitutions, right? God told us we have dominion over everything, and then we wrote constitutions that are basically based off of the Bible, and then all of our executives and legislatures and judges, right? Those are all servants of the people, right? You just have to get that in your head, man. It's a mind flip. Once you understand who's boss, then you're going to know what's up, right? So now this man right here, he's going to find out who's boss. He's going to find out who's boss because he's finding out we the people are boss, man. Because, when you swore that oath, to support and defend the Constitution, right? So help me God, right? When you affirmed it and then you put your testes on the line, right? We have those words now. That's what we call a contract, man. And if you don't follow the contract, we come after you for breach of contract now. Scary simple service. All right, so check this out. I'm going to show you one of the things that, this is knowledge, right? So this is one of the JotForms that's in the link in the description, right? And this JotForm right here is like, check out the header. We the people demand our servants take the necessary steps to immediately secure our southern borders, right? So right now, this is the people telling our servants, yo, lock down those borders, man, because we don't feel safe and we don't feel happy, right? So this is a notice of demand to secure the U.S. southern border, right? So this is more knowledge with more words and more law that's telling our public servants that you better do your job, right? You better do your job because we the people, one of the people of the 50 American states, Republican in form, right? Or letting you know we're boss and you better fix that stuff because you're not doing your job right now, right? Because if we see people coming across, if we see crime increasing, if we see people unhappy, if we see businesses closing, if we see gas prices that are super high and things like that, we know that our public servants are not doing their job, and now we know how to correct you, right? And we correct you through the pen and the paper, through the notice and the affidavit, and we show you all the rules that you're supposed to follow. And if you don't follow those rules, then we're coming at you in a completely different way now, man. Okay, scary simple service. All right, so check this out. Remember, right, here's a shout out to my man David Jose again for libertydollar.org, right? So I would wish for the people to go to this association right here, because Liberty Dollar is a financial association. It's private money for private people, right? Because the people are the bosses, right? So we can come in here and we can do business amongst each other, right? So you know how all the people are afraid of banks and things like that? That's because you were taught wrongly, right? We the people are the banks. Right, we the people are the credit, right? And then our government servants have been running our own credit, and then they've been eating fat and happy off of our credit, and then now we're letting them know that, you can't do that, right? Now we're coming into the private, and now we're creating our private money for private people. We use the silver currency, and then we can do all the trades that we want now, man. Scary simple service, okay? So go here to the libertydollar.org and get on it, man. You're gonna have so much fun, right? Have no fear. Banking is cool. Banking is just all about what you got on the table, man. Scary simple service, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead. We're getting ready to close up shop with the word, right? Because we want to show you Matthew 6:2-4. We love this one because it puts it out there. No man can serve two masters. Remember that. No man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Remember that. Ye cannot serve God and mammon, right? So God is the boss that created everything, right? He created we the people, right? And then now we like, you're boss, God. You're the master, so we serve you. But then there's other entities out there called mammon, right? And those are little things that whisper in your ear and they try to divide you, but they serve the riches and then they serve the gain, right? They serve something that is not God, right? And then now we know who they are because we know them by their words, right? These are the ones that don't call themselves the people. These are the ones that don't call themselves man or woman, right? They call themselves something else, right? So if you call yourself something other than man, one of the people, right? Woman, one of the people, servant of God or anything like that, we know that you serve mammon. And then now it's really easy, and then we know what to do with you now, man, okay? We put you in check because God gave us the constitutions to put you in check now, okay? Let's keep it going. So remember Genesis right here, right? If you always want to forget who we the people are created in, who created us, check it out right here. Genesis 26. And God said, let us make man in our image. Stop right there. Remember that. Man, woman, we are created in the image of God, okay? And then God said, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, right? And over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, right? That's what God said, right? So when you look in the mirror and then you look at your face, right, because you're beautiful because God created you, right? I don't care what you think that you are, right, or who told you what you are. I'm telling you, you can go look in the Bible right now and you can read it for yourself, and it's going to tell you God said, let us make man in our image, right? So if you're walking and you have flesh, right, and you're walking in your little God body suit, right, and you're like, who created me, right? God created you, right? And then once you know who Father is, right, then you're going to be cool, right? Then you're going to know you got a brother, and your brother's Christ, Jesus Christ, my brother, my Lord, right? I serve my Lord. My Lord is my brother, right? I don't have any shame with doing that, right? Because, I got to God through Christ, right? And then he said, look, check this out. You were created in the image of me, man, right? And I was like, really? oh my God, thank you, right? And then you realize you're never alone, right? You got brothers and sisters out there that look just like you, walking around, calling themselves whatever they is want to call them, but you know that they are man, right? Mankind. We're one family, right? You know, we were created in the image of God, right? So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, him, right? Male and female created he, them. Simple, right? Now you know what's up, right? You know, so you can go and you can look at all the science and things and see, you know, the process of how this happens, right? But just know that God did it, man. Scary simple. He said, let it be, and it is. Remember, Psalms 82:6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Remember that, right? God said this, right? Big G is telling little G what's up right now. So just imagine Father sitting you down right now and saying, here, come sit down, little G. You know, I need to tell you something. You're gods, right? Ye are gods. All of you, every one of you running around here, you know, just going blah, 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 blah. You are all little G's, right? You know, you are all children of the Most High. It is beautiful once you see that, right? Once you see that every man, every woman, every child, they are your family, right? You are all children of the Most High, right? And you have a duty and a responsibility to protect what God created for all of us, right? Scary simple service. All right, let's keep it going. Here we go. We got John 1:1, right? We're going to close it out on this word right here because we love it, right? In the beginning was the Word. Fact, right? And the Word was with God. Fact, man. Okay, and the Word was God. Fact. Remember that, right? And the Word was God, right? In the beginning, and the Word was God, right? So every time you're hearing the words, you're hearing God speaking through the Spirit, man. And now you're just seeing what the definitions and where these words come from. And once you see how they're constructed and how they're fit and what the order is, right, you're going to have some power now, right? So we're giving people back the power by showing them the Word. And then the Word was God, right? The Word was, meaning was and is and always will be God. Remember that, right? And then if anyone tries to trick you with the words, right, they're trying to bring confusion to you, and they're trying to bring war to you, and they're trying to bring treason to you, and they're trying to betray your trust, man. Because if you can't trust the words that you're reading with your own eyes, right, then something's going on, right? Then that means you may be following a different master, right? If you can't trust the words that you see with your own eyes, right, then that means that you may be following a different master, right? And you can only serve one. Remember that. All right, so check it out. Let's close it out. Remember, order. God created the world. Check. God created man, aka the people. Check. People created states. Check. People created constitutions. Check. People created governments. Check. Question. When did government become boss of the people? Answer, never. Ever, ever, ever. The people are bosses of everything because that's what God said, right? Remember, the branches of our government that we are bosses of. Remember that, right? None of them can tell us to shut down ever again, right? You know, because we had to walk through the fire to see what it's about. Now, we went through that fire and now we know we got servants now, man. It's so much fun, right? So, thank you. Thank you for the lockdowns, man. You know, thank you for giving us the time to learn, you know, who we are, where we come from, who's our father, who's our brother, who's our family, who's our sister. Right now we know what's up. Now we'll probably never have one of these again. Well, maybe not for another 100 years, right? Because now we will watch. We will watch and we will protect and we will teach and we will show people the words forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever, ever, ever. Okay? All right, so I'm done. I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to drink some coffee, take the girls for a walk, you know, and do some work. All right, I'll talk to you guys in the future. Remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.